All right, what's up and what's going on, all my fishermen brothers, sisters, little kids out there that's loving what they do? How y'all doing? This is Fishing with Big Al, man, and welcome to the channel. Man, it is 12 days, today 24th? Yeah, 12 days since post-op with my surgery. And for all you guys that didn't know, I had to get surgery on my L3, L4. I had to go in because I had a bulging disc that had to be treated. I couldn't get around it. It was very painful trying to sleep at night, sitting in the chair during the day, no pills. I mean, I was at CVS, Walgreens. I'm going to the emergency room because I know they're going to give me a steroid shot to try to dull the pain and kill it for a little bit and give me some time because the surgery was too far off. I had to wait like 3 weeks. When my doctor had already gave me the green light to get the surgery back in July. But you know how we do. We're not trying to get surgery. We don't have to. So I took a shot. And when they gave me that shot, I thought I would be okay for a while. I didn't think it was going to be that short of a time that it lasted. So gave me the shot. I felt better, got back to fishing, got back to doing all my normal routines. Twisting my body, picking up my cooler as I'm fishing the whole nine, and I'm doing stuff around the house like normal, right? That shot wore off and it was like fire going down my right leg. Further than it was going down when it first happened. So this was back in March, but it was like a July situation, I believe, when I went, you know, because I had to do a paper trail and everything else. So I had to wait for my insurance to get all my paperwork together for me to get MRIs. Then I had to wait to be seen by doctors and all that kind of stuff. So it was a big mix up. And when I went to go see him, he said on July 12th that this is what was going on, that I had a bulging disc and he can get me in on the 20th to clean it up. And I'm thinking because we knew each other, I'm thinking he said it like we were cool, and it didn't register in my mind that I'm talking to a doctor and he talking to a patient. It almost registered like two people that know each other, and it's like you're supposed to read between the lines of what I'm getting at. So I didn't read between the lines. I was trying to dodge the surgery. I'm like, I ain't doing no surgery, man. I just had that before, and I don't want that again. So I said, well, my hip is what's hurting me the most. And he said, well, I'm telling you, you got that bulging disc, and that is where the pain is coming from. You may not be feeling it, but that is where it's coming from. It's pinching the nerve, and that is the reason why you have what you have. Now, I was told I had piriformis syndrome, right? Which was my glute tightened up and my hip was hurting, right? That's where the pain was at. So I had another appointment with the thigh doctor, the hip doctor. And of course, they had got me some they had got an MRI on my hip. So I had a tear. And I'm thinking, I'm not a doctor, but I'm thinking outside the box. I'm saying, well, maybe that's what the problem is. So I go talk to this hip doctor and he says, yeah, you got a tear, but there's nothing wrong with your hip. If you have to get hip surgery, I give it like a 4 or 5 years from now that you had to worry about that. So I'm thinking, okay, so what do we do? So he said, we can give you a shot. Now, these are two doctors ain't talking to each other. And I haven't told him that this doctor here is saying this and you're saying this. What are we doing? Let's meet in the middle. I didn't do that. Only thing I heard was, give me a shot. Great. Give me the shot. Take away the pain. I'll be okay. Right? Worry about it later on. He gave me the shot, and sure enough, 2 days, pain gone. So like I said before, I'm back to normal. I'm doing everything that I was doing, regular routine. Like I said, when that shot finally wore off, it had to be in August because it took him 3 weeks before I got to see my doctor for my surgery, which was September the 12th. So he gave me that shot back in July, and that shot only lasted like about a month or so, right, before it got done, and I went back to normal routine. But because of all the wear and tear I put on my body for that time, it just made it worse. And instead of that being in my thigh area and in my hip and at my hamstring and the back of my leg, which is where I felt it, right? Barely in my hamstring, barely felt it there. Everything was mainly in that glute and mainly by the hip area. When I tell you everything was done, I was done. And you talking about somebody, I don't wish it on anybody, But the reason why I'm making this, right, actually is because you get a chance to, as we get older, I'm 58, so we get older and we get a chance to look at things different now. And I got a homeboy right now who's going through the same thing. And I tried to let him know that it's important to take care of yourself. And if you got the means, get it done. Because when you get nerve damage, if you wait too long, you can put so much pressure on that nerve that it can never regenerate itself. Or if it does, it takes a little while longer. And you'll see somebody like when they're dragging their leg, that's because they decided they didn't ever want the surgery, right? They just live with it. And you got people to this day that live with sciatic, right? And they just buy pills and they take all this medicine and everything like that. But the big way you get it taken care of is just to get the surgery done. So with that said, I got that surgery done on the 12th, and I was out of the hospital by Saturday. It was on a Thursday. They let me out on a Saturday. And I came home and I just went through it, man. So I've been taking, the gabapentin, and I was taking the hydro that they put me on and stuff like that. And I tried to go yesterday without messing with it. I said, okay, I'm gonna take myself off of it and start winging myself off of it. And I tried to do that. And it lasted for a while, but the only thing is nerves are so funny, right? Now, I told you, everything is on my right leg. But for some reason, I was feeling pain up here after the surgery. This was on a Sunday. Not the Sunday that just passed. This was last Sunday. They let me out the hospital on a Saturday. I'm at the house on a Sunday, and all of a sudden, I started getting this pain up in my upper part of my rib. And I talked to him, and I said, look, whenever somebody gets this surgery, like mine in the L3, L4, have you ever had patients complaining about pain up in the upper areas? And they say, yeah, that's your nerves. He said, it can go anywhere, right? And so they said what's happening is it takes about 2 weeks, and they said it could be air, or it can be just the nerve itself that is on fire, and that's where you're feeling your pain at up there. Because I'm really not feeling too much pain in the area where they did the surgery at. So that is why when I was trying to get myself off the pills, that is the reason why I had to go back on them, because it hurts so bad. If I try to sleep on my side, I can't do it. So I have to take 2 gabapentin and the hydro just to keep that pain off my upper part of my rib. That's where it's hurting at. So that being said, I go back and see him on Friday, and hopefully they taking the stitches out. That's the way it's supposed to work. I'm up, and I'm able to, as long as I'm doing everything right, I'm able to walk, stand up like I should. So everything in a way is coming back the way it should be. Only thing is, it's still gonna be a while. I don't know if they're gonna set me up for physical therapy, and try to get me work back into shape where I'm able to bend and twist and stretch and show me ways to maneuver my body without putting it through harm's way and things like that. This isn't my first rodeo with that surgery. I've had it. This is my third one, actually. This was, I think, was the worst, because the other one, when I first got it, I got it because I wanted to continue playing basketball. So this was back in my young days when I got it. I got my first one back in 2002, and I had a jammed nerve, but it didn't hurt as bad as this one did. It was just a pinched nerve, and I was still able to play basketball, but it had restrictions to my game. So we had the surgery, and he went in, and they called it something. I forgot what the first one was. And then I wound up having it again back in 2017 or something like that, because I had another pinched nerve, and I think it was in the L3, L4 area again. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking it was. But this time it happened, and it was so bad, like I say, when it was all said and done, that it went down my whole leg, down to my foot. And it will lock in by my knee. And when they hit the knee, brother, that is some serious pain. Imagine somebody taking a hammer or whatever and hitting you in your knee with it. Like when they be showing them movies and showing I don't care, that's all acting. Let your knee give you some real problems and see how a tear almost come in your eye as a grown man. And you looking for all kind of medication or whatever. I'm talking about it got to the point it was so bad, bro, that I was ready to tell my wife, cut my leg off, Do like they did in the Westerns. Go find me a poke and burn the ends up. I'll be just gone. We'll cut my leg off, be done with it. That's how bad a pain it was. So you can tell I'm laughing because I feel better. But at the same time, I'm laughing because if anything, this should be, if somebody is going through this and you're dodging surgery, but you know you should have it and you're worried, I can tell you right now, if you don't get it done, the only thing that can happen is it gets worse. But if you do get it done, then you got a chance that you come out on the other end in peace. And right now, that's where I'm at. I'm coming out on the other end in peace. So, you know, God is good. You know, it is what it just is what it is. I trust doctors. I've always trusted doctors. I just always make sure I get the right ones. I don't just go to anything that they set me up. This doctor, I've been knowing him for years. And I trust him, right? He's always taking care of me and stuff like that. What happened was, I think when I fell at the beach one time, before this happened, before I got the piriformis, I think it happened was I was walking with my cooler and I fell down this rock. And when I'm talking about I fell, bro, I'm talking about one of them falls where you going up in the air and you trying to keep the cooler from coming down in your face. That's how fast I fell. And when it happened at 58 years old, y'all already know, all my older guys, what's the first thing we started grabbing? We started trying to grab everything on our way down. But it wasn't nothing for me to grab. I had the cooler. That's all I could grab. So I threw the cooler up, trying to hold it up. I got my fish in it. And when I fell, only thing I can try to do is try to throw it so it don't land on my face. Because that is how fast everything happened. I tried to throw it so it didn't hit me in the face. And I'm talking about one of them big coolers like you see on a boat. I got one of the big ones where you can, y'all seen it before, where I measure my fish. That's the cooler. And that thing almost fell right into my face with the ice and fish in it. So I had to throw it. And at that time frame, I fell and hit them rocks. And I didn't feel any pain yet. But I'm thinking maybe that had something to, that added to the effect of when it finally took place, because there was some days, maybe weeks later, when the strain came and I pulled it, but that could have been already there. And that piriformis came in, and that piriformis is no joke. When your glutes lock up like that, it almost feels like somebody just got a big muscle knot in your buttocks, and it just locks up and it's tight to the touch. So that's how it was. But, go back, see him on Friday. Hopefully, be back up in action. I'm thinking like an October, November type deal. I'm not going to push it, right? I'm going to take my time with it. I'll probably get some fishing in where I go chase flounder or something like that. But I'm not going to be chasing big dogs like I'm going into surf and throwing my big rods for a minute, because I got to get my strength back in my back, and I don't want to throw it out by trying to make those type of casts. I can probably do some short distance casts, but for the most part, nah, it's going to be short distance. Go chase some flounder or something like that, maybe chase some trout or something like that, but I'm not going to be chasing the reds and anything that's going to give me problems. So try to get it done. But at the same time, if you are thinking about this, don't procrastinate on it. If it's not going to put you in debt and you saying you can handle it, you just worried about the surgery because you just don't trust nobody touching your back or something like that, I can just say that I'm glad I got it done, because I feel a hell of a lot better than what I would have felt if I didn't get it done. I'm talking about, imagine pain going down your whole front, left, and right side of your leg, on top of your knee, and then going down to your shin. It will just move around. And wherever we decide to stop at, that's where the pain will concentrate. I'm talking about this sent me to the emergency room. I couldn't take it. I'm talking about I couldn't sleep. I couldn't find no position that was comfortable. All that stuff they talking about, stretching and put a pillow between your leg or under your feet and all that. Nah, not when it goes on that level. None of that stuff was working. So anyway, bouncing back, hopefully be back out there doing what I love doing, just like everybody else, getting that fishing on, having a good time, man, and doing what we do. So y'all know how I always said, it's fish on, baby. And at the same time, whatever lane you in, ride your lane. If it isn't hurting anybody, if you are able to make it happen for yourself, right, then do it. Make it work. Do what you're going to do. Don't let anybody take you from it. So with that said, I'm out. Y'all be cool. God bless. Peace.